Welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast and radio show infused with hip hop. I am Wood.
Made daily with organic, farm to table, localized, neuralized, sterilized, Scotch guarded for 2020 repellent, available online, shipped via Amazon, not available on Sundays, but now available on thebeastradio.com. Broken Pencil Logic. You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
Man, pardon my nasally tone this week.
And don't apologize because
I got my 5G upgrade yesterday.
Pollen is out here gangbanging.
No, I got my 5G upgrade yesterday and I'm going ape shit right now, so pardon me.
Oh, you fancy, huh?
Yeah, I am. I can talk on the phone, put my finger in the sky, and still get 5 bars.
Wow.
Yeah, man. There we go. Oh, funny how we start the show off with an M. Slago beat. I actually got a chance to lay eyes on M. Slago for the first time in almost a year because of this freaking pandemic and the fact that he moved to Nashville.
Right.
Some bish.
Slago. What up, though?
Yeah, man. We got work cooking for you too. That's how that go. Suave. So last week, we ended the show with some breaking news and an argument from the pettiest of messiahs.
Well, I mean, I really wanted to call in to share that little jewel he dropped in the text thread the other day.
We gotta back pocket that, because if we don't back pocket that one's gonna get lost in the archives. We'll give him to the end of the show.
Yeah, if he don't get here by the end of the show, we dropping that quote.
let me send that message to him.
If he don't do no surprise run in,
I want to send that message to him right now. If you don't do a surprise run in,
hit it. Yeah, all of that.
57 minutes from now.
Damn. Give him the exact time, because 57 minutes from now, he'll think it's 57 minutes from the time he reads it.
I will. I'm typing the exact time just for the sake of conversation. And for the show, I'm putting 57 minutes from now. But I am putting the time.
Super funny.
Your quote becomes show fodder. And
that's crazy.
This is not a paid appearance.
Damn, he ain't coming. I tell you right now, he ain't coming. You might well call Ron. You might well hit Ron up.
Wait,
because Petty ain't coming. If he can't burn an appearance, he ain't coming.
Act accordingly, and we'll see what happens, because shouts out to Ron. Wait, hold on.
Price just went up. Price just went up.
One time.
All right.
We ain't doing rollbacks around here, you bastards.
So I have the lobby posted like right next to me. So if he jumps up in this thing, we will be able to add him.
Okay. Hey, we starting off with some news. So MLW is coming back with crowds on July 10th.
Whoa! Did you wait a minute? One more time. You said that real matter of factly.
Major League Wrestling, MLW, to return with crowds on July the 10th.
Do you see where that is?
No, I don't. There's no location attached to this July 10th.
Yes, there is.
No, where I'm reading it from.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Please enlighten me.
This is at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia.
Oh, watch out, man. Okay.
So they ain't just pulling the crowd out. They pulling the crowd out.
So I'm willing to assume that this is part of the MLW new home address. They're forwarding all their mail to this new address that they have.
Their forwarding address now for television programming will not also be the Fight Network. It will not also be YouTube. It will now also be Vice TV. in a strange twist. I believe you mentioned them like in passing once as an option, and I just we never really took it seriously because like they have so much wrestling programming that we just never would have imagined they had something quote unquote live for wrestling on this network. But after,
it would have made so much sense if we had thought about it in that context because they have so much wrestling content as is. You figured they would want to add an actual program, but we were thinking like sports-based television. We're like ESPN Plus needs this.
Well, before I knew it was actually Viceland, and I'm sorry, our Vice. And I want to interrupt you. The one thing I did see yesterday on MLW Fusion was Richard Holiday having his little comedy bit with the Caribbean Championship and with a piece of art. That was referred with a lower extremity referred to as by a woman a quote hammer dick.
Whoa!
I don't think that's going to be ESPN Plus friendly programming going forward. So yeah, that makes more sense that it was actually with Vice. But yeah, as you were saying, Vice. Go ahead.
That's easily correctable. Like if you don't want terms like hammer dick on your television, then you just put out a directive that says no leg slaps. That's it. But I get what you're saying. Like if you want to keep everything as is, then you find somewhere that would accept your content as is. And Vice is, if you're a person who watches programming on Vice, there's not a lot of restriction going on over there.
Yeah, no, there's virtually none. And Jacob Fatu's promo skills actually fit into that of the regular commentary of the network.
Bruh, this is actually a perfect marriage when you consider the lineup of programming over there. You have shout out to Action Bronson. You don't have these.
You don't have this.
Yeah, fuck that's delicious. You got 2 Chainz Most Expensivest. You have Dark Side of the Ring. You got Dark Side of the Ring Confidential. You have the Wrestlers. What else? I'm probably missing one.
The Wrestlers.
I didn't name that one. Shout out to Donk Master if you've ever seen season 1 of Donk Master. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, get home soon, fam.
I think he is home though.
Well, let's get some more content.
Shout out to the homie AC who was on the episode of, I gotta remember what that show was, but it was like a documentary on Serb. So I mean,
that was noisy.
Vice is a place, you know what I'm saying? If you enjoy counterculture or like seedy underbelly documentaries,
it is destination television for sure.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed.
I wonder if we're going to get Kerry Champion and Jamela Hill to interview some of these MLW stars as part of their Vice contract.
Oh, they are on Vice.
Yes, sir.
That's a good question. I think Jacob Fatu is an interesting interview no matter who does it, but that would be somebody should hit the bell because we should be in somebody's marketing department because I guarantee you nobody over there has thought about that yet.
Listen, there's speaking of on the what was that, the Pluto Wrestling channel, I sent y'all something last week. And of course, they're showing old programming on there. But they have blah 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 blah. They were showing PCW last week and had Jacob Fatu, simply known as Fatu, there. And I forgot who he was going against, but I think it might have been his partner from Contra, Joseph. I think they got like some kind of bloodbath popping off, but it's supposed to air this week. Like they're still doing weekly episodic television from these smaller independents that you would never ever see on TV, but they're showing them in their weekly format. It's a really great find if you can just turn on the Pluto Wrestling channel, which I think is channel 728 on Pluto, and totally free on your phone, tablet, TV, totally free. And it's for the diehard wrestling fan that loves the independent culture. You get to see some of your favorites. I saw Shane Strickland take on the Wellness Monster, the Swolverine Brian Cage from a Seattle territory, and it was a fire match.
the swollen, the wellness monster, Swolverine.
Yeah. Oh, but as we were talking about last week, as we went off the air, breaking news was happening in the world of wrestling. WWE. We anticipated the week before Mania. We anticipated Black Wednesday happening again, which would have been April the 14th. Well, it actually happened Thursday, April 15th. 10 notable superstars were released, and we talked about 8 of them, but there was a couple of more after we went off the air that actually got released. So I'll run down the whole list for you. Mojo Rawley, Peyton Royce, Billy Kay, Tucker, Chelsea Green, Mickey James, Wesley Blake, Kalisto, Bo Dallas, and Samoa Joe. And also the news came out that WWE's doctors would not clear Samoa Joe, which is something that I alluded to on this very show, that it's possible that Joe's doctors and Joe feels that he should be cleared, but WWE is like, nah, B, that's not happening. And sure enough, it came out. I don't know if that was the reason for the release, but it's saying that these were COVID budget cuts.
I see. That's the thing. I think Joe is the lone soldier in that doesn't seem like a budget cut. It seems like Joe had a conversation. I'll say that, and this is all speculation. This is me putting pieces together.
Yeah, this is pure commentary.
Yeah, Joe had a conversation and was like, and they had an understanding, like, when I get cleared, I can go back to wrestling, but I'll completely be invested in commentary for the time being. Joe went and got cleared, and then WWE's doctors were like, no, and it was a back and forth, and then Joe just finally said, okay, well, give me my release,
and he was out.
Which, I mean, if I'm WWE, like, what does it hurt? I know, I get it. I get the liability. The liability is stupid. So I can't blame them for not clearing him. I blame you for, acquiescing to the demands to be released. Like, fam, throw him another bag and turn in hopes that this will work out.
Let's GM for a second. So,
all right.
We have stateside, MLW, ROH, Impact, AEW, WWE. Well, WWE's off the table. And then overseas, we're going to have New Japan. Which these are the only major viable options. When I say major, I mean the ability to float their own dollar, to float their own roster, have main event roster, caliber roster that can go up against any of the other rosters that I just named. Okay? Let's see if we can find homes for these people, if we find a home at all. Mojo Rawley.
I would like to see Mojo Rawley go to Ring of Honor.
Nice.
And revamp his whole personality, because I'm pretty sure if he puts the work and the effort in, he's going to be really good. So I'd like to see him kind of revamp himself in Ring of Honor. But if he just goes as is, it's an AEW signing that probably doesn't amount to much.
I really hope that if this is a situation, and it's for his benefit, where his injuries got the best of him, because I think he'll be a great trainer simply because of his level of intensity. That hype bro shit wasn't fabricated. You could tell, because even as a dastardly heel, he was still extremely over the top in hype. What?
And caller, you're on the line.
Oh shit.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing today?
Yeah, it's a funny thing.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Yes,
it only took 13 minutes. Wow.
This episode just got super lit, courtesy of Golden Corral.
There you go. Best roles in the business.
Price just went up.
Oh man.
Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is just taking off into hyperspeed.
We're in the middle of booking a territory for 9 or for 10 released superstars, and here you go popping up after the very first one.
We going through the want ads for all these people that just got cut loose.
Not the want ads.
Okay.
we reading the green sheets for all these people right now. I'm trying to see what's gonna stick.
Oh shit! All right, so
Well, for those of you who don't know, I go by the name of Mr. Copyright Infringement himself, the Petty Messiah. And if you're keeping score at home, there's 3 left after this one.
You sound like Busta Rhymes. There's only 5 years left.
Busta Rhymes was so wrong, and then he came back and doubled down on it.
That's how you got to do when you're wrong. When you're wrong, you have to double down.
Never look, live the gimmick. Dewey taught us that.
Hey, but Buster went through the apocalypse, and we just happened to come on the other side with him. So he's not telling you the lie here.
my fear is Dewey actually listens to this show, and one day I'm gonna have to see him in the streets, and it's not gonna be pretty.
Did you say Dewey?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're gonna keep referring to him as Dewey, then
you are going to see him in the streets, fam.
Like, he's gonna pick me up like an old school bully and dangle me by one leg and shake the crap out of me.
If I actually thought he listened to podcasts in the gym or did cardio listening to podcasts, I would totally believe it. But it's a lot of heavy metal and rap music going on.
Right? Yeah, it's a rare.
It's probably heavy metal in the country going on.
But maybe on the plane, he catches up.
Yeah, like maybe on a car ride on a plane, like something like that. But yeah.
And just one day our ears, what is BPBC?
It doesn't matter what it is.
No, you want to get him to listen to the podcast, and we need to become like sponsors or some type of endorsement crew for Terramana.
I mean, he has an energy drink, so
yeah.
I mean, I would do more for the energy drink than Terramana.
That's what we should do. We should do a video and take Terramana and pour some Zoa in it and see what happens.
I feel like you instantly become him, like on Shazam. Like you become him when you do that.
Veins instantly get bigger. Muscles actually start rolling.
I'm super vascular right now.
You take some Terramana tequila, put some pineapple juice in it, hit it with some Zoa, and then try to pick up something heavy.
And hope it works.
And just hope that you don't see one or two hair fall out while that happens. On that note, all right. So
what we got?
We're talking about Mojo Rawley. So AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, MLW, and Impact. Where do these people end up?
Are we missing it? NWA Power, because they have a situation.
NWA. I forgot about them too. That's a good situation too.
Yeah.
So we can't leave them out. So Mojo, where do you put Mojo, Petty Messiah?
NWA Power.
Okay. I'm not mad.
I only put him in NWA Power because one, his size, and two, he still has the need to develop a few things like his delivery on his promos, his ring presence. All of those things still need work, and he's still relatively young in industry terms, isn't he?
Yeah, he's about. I think he's just a hair south of 30.
I didn't think he was 30 yet, so. I think a place like NWA Power weekly is enough for him to cut his teeth for him to go and transition to, say, New Japan. But he needs somewhere small, somewhere intimate, like the NWA studio, for them to get him where he needs to be.
Him and Aaron and Rex actually would be a good feud. Just because there's
presentation.
Yeah,
kind of
the size.
Get away from the hype bro.
Yeah,
get away from being a hype bro.
If anybody would have benefited from being a Dusty, one of Dusty's kids, it would have been him. OVW would have done him well. Like if he could have been in that environment, he would be bigger than he was right now. He wouldn't have got cut.
Something tells me OVW is about to get some more shine with Al Snow at the helm. I got a feeling we're going to see more things from them than we ever have north of the 2002 class.
Nothing wrong with that.
Peyton Royce and Billy Kay, do we put them together? Do we leave them together, or do we make them separate? I think we leave them together, but where do they go?
I think
Does
they should be
Australia
together.
have a premier wrestling organization?
Who? Australia?
Yeah.
They do. We just can't see it.
Yeah.
Most likely. And I know we had all of our options, but I don't feel like they're going to any of those. They would go back to Australia as a tag team and then ply their trade there until somebody calls them.
Or do something like Progress.
Well, it's WWE owned though.
Then they wouldn't do Progress. They would go back to Australia, be a tag team, rip it up, and then probably end up in like, let's say New Japan. If I had to pull from there, does New Japan have? I know they have ladies wrestling.
They don't, but they don't have a tag team division.
Yeah,
Impact. Impact does.
Valet. You're like
Impact would be the only place with a tag division here in the stateside that would be a viable option for them.
Realistically, they don't have to be a tag team, but I feel like Billie Kay is better as a valet or a manager than she ever was in the ring.
And I feel the exact same way about Peyton Royce in the ring. So yeah, that's a good marriage. I like that.
Yeah.
Impact.
Impact it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Tucker.
He needs to be in a gang with Mojo Rawley in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, there you go.
If you can package him the right way, you can put him in MLW as a new member of Contra Unit.
Yeah. But I lean toward him in ROH because Mojo and him are bigger than most of ROH's roster.
I mean, with that logic, he could be a member of
Diesel.
Team Taz. Because he can actually wrestle.
He can actually wrestle. Yeah.
At some point, so
yeah.
So he could be a member of Team Taz. You could make it.
You know who he is? He's Sylvester Terkay.
And you know what's crazy? Now that you mention that, as far as like being in a faction with people who actually wrestle, did you notice all the factions in AEW are factions of teams of people who can actually wrestle, including the Dark Order?
Okay, explain.
That's usually I don't
watch
sign.
It, and I'm gonna say this so people, our listeners know. I don't watch enough AEW to make that statement. So let
me run it down for you. You got Pinnacle.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah, you got Pinnacle. Well, last night was actually a decent show.
I mean, it was that show, but overall, you're not missing shit.
Yeah, you got Pinnacle. You have the Inner Circle. You have Dark Order. You have the Nightmare Family. You have the Nightmare Factory, and then you have the Gun Club's part of Nightmare Family. So, but yeah,
there's a lot of intermingling going on with these fraternities and sororities.
Yeah, and Team Taz,
and you have the Best Friends.
Because
the Best Friends is a 4-piece now.
Oh yeah, so it is a faction, and they are, and every single element of each of those factions can wrestle, like actually wrestle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
3/4 of the Best Friends can go.
I know you're gonna say something about Orange Cassidy.
But no, I wasn't even talking about him. I was talking about Chuck Taylor.
Right. I was saying you got it wrong.
I hit the buzzer on that man one time. Here's the thing.
Where's that one at? Hold on, let me get that one pulled up.
Yeah, my least favorite of that 4-piece is Chuck Taylor. Like,
jeez.
Like, sure, the Orange Cassidy thing grew old on me quickly, but I mean, yeah, Chuck Taylor's far worse.
All right, so
Mickey, they all can wrestle, pretty much.
Mickey James
retired.
I'll do you one better. I'm going to say NWA Power.
I mean, if Aldous is still going to be champ, then most likely she becomes Sable.
I'm going to say AEW coach.
Nice.
To whom?
Well, Kenny Omega is the coach right now.
Like I said.
Yeah, so
I'm going to say AEW women's coach. Kenneth is a little busy.
Yeah,
and got a lot going on.
And it's been showing in the product that we get. It's time to shift a little away from our Far East friends on top all the time. Let's get some better matches going. We've got a talent pool that we can assemble. You've got Statlander, she's back healthy. You have Thunder Rosa. You have Serena Deeb when she's back healthy. You have enough women. You have Nyla Rose. You have enough individuals that you can put together to get some really good matches without always having to reach for the Asian schoolgirl fetish.
Man,
there you go.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Let's see here. Wesley Blake.
Don't care.
Jeez. MLW.
I want to say ROH.
But he's another
wherever he
one.
may land.
Yeah, he's another one of those that like, is he gonna stay stateside because he's not from here?
Yeah, he's Australian as well.
Oh wait. No, I take that don't care back. I won't want to let the stench of the Forgotten Sons sit on this man.
I mean, because him and Murphy were the shit.
So what I'll say is this: he needs a new gimmick quickly.
Well, he's going to get that because Wesley Blake can no longer be his name.
What is his actual name?
Don't know. Don't care. We'll find out soon.
Well, so here's the thing: whatever his new gimmick is, it needs to be impactful. Here's the thing, but not a pun on that.
Right. Let's be very
but
clear.
not a pun on that. He doesn't have to go to Impact, but it needs to be impactful. So the ROH, some of these people would stand to go to ROH. The smaller venues for a lot of these people make more sense.
Now, so
I mean, if you have Go in the Ring, and you know there are other aspects of your game, really, I think Ring of Honor is where you should go when you're tired of being a cartoon character.
Yeah.
When you're tired of whatever it is, whatever gimmick they assigned you and it didn't work, and you have this bigger idea, bigger concept of what you are and what you should be, I feel like Ring of Honor is where you go do that, or where you go figure it out. Because
I agree.
Yeah. You'll get a more serious presentation.
MLW could be that place, but we have to wait until they get on Vice so we can see what the presentation there is going to be like.
Yeah, but you can't go in there tripping because you'll get fed to Fatu and that'll be it.
That'll be a
you get kicked in the face by a Samoan.
You go in there unsure about what you're doing. Okay, we're just gonna feed you to the beast, and then away you go.
Look at you
to the glue factory with you.
All right, so
for the glue factory, homeboy.
For the top three prospects on the male side of this, let's go with the bottom of the three, Kalisto.
AAA.
I like that.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear who it was.
Kalisto.
Oh,
I like
Kalisto?
Yeah. AAA, CMLL. Yeah, Mexico, basically.
Avocados from Mexico.
I'm not going to put a luchador nowhere else. I'm going to give him to Carlos Colon and going about my business.
Well, that'd be Puerto Rico. It just makes the most sense. Like, why would you do anything else?
Because he's going... Wherever there is luchadores happening, that's where he needs to go.
Anywhere with a mask you go to sleep with. Bo Rotundo.
You feel me?
Where do we put Bo Rotundo?
State
Bo
Farm.
Rotundo.
Wow.
Yeah. Bo Rotundo finna sell houses.
I think he done. I think like he may do it again. Him, Ring of Honor. Because what I see AEW doing is AEW would bring him in just to get a joke off about Bray.
Yeah.
And then you don't have anything for him after that. He's just going to be wrestling random matches on Dark and wrestling and Elevation, and then occasionally on Dynamite. But if you actually really want something to do, MLW, ROH, possibly Impact, but Ring of Honor.
Let me book him.
Is Mike? Hold on a second.
How he should be booked.
Hold on 1 second, real quick. Is Mike Hennig still like not wrestling?
Yeah, he backstage training.
Is he?
That's what he been doing for a while. That's why I ain't cut him.
I thought he got released.
When?
2 years ago.
Did he?
I believe he did. I'll go ahead and book your territory. I'm gonna do my Googles. Go ahead.
So when it comes down to Bo Dallas or Bo Rotundo, this is a legacy act. You follow me? 9 times out of 10, this goes one of two ways. He goes to TNA. He links up with James Storm. They become a new version of the Blackjacks. Which I wouldn't care about that. It makes sense. It makes sense for him with the family name that he has to go do just that. Or he goes to TNA and he pulls what Goldust did when he went to WCW. He goes to TNA and he becomes another version of his brother for TNA, who no longer has anybody on that realm that can do that as they used to.
Impact does like that mystic world stuff, they do it so horribly that it would come off really bad.
You talking about the cinematic, real reality TV-esque spin?
Yeah.
It's
and that's the problem.
Yeah,
it's because he's
cheesy.
in the same vein as his brother. I want him to, and I feel like WWE missed the boat on having not one Fiend, but Fiend and another crazy to come out there and really wreck things.
They missed the twin doinks moment.
Yeah, but
I'm talking like, and if you got the Fiend, it's like Venom and Carnage. If either Kane and the Undertaker, y'all literally had Kane and the Undertaker again and didn't do anything with it.
And for the record,
you repackage
somebody
him.
up there is asleep. Somebody up there is asleep at the wheel.
And for the record,
you repackage him. You get him back in the gym, swell him up like you need to, and just have him come fight his brother first.
He was already pretty damn big anyway.
Yeah, like, he's not a small guy.
Yeah, he was beefed up. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Like Bo, that's why they had to make him wrestle in a t-shirt. Bo started getting bigger than everybody around him,
and
that's why they kept him off TV.
And he was still in the low 200s. That was the crazy part of it, because he was barely 200 when he was NXT champion.
Yeah, Bo was never just an air quotes body guy, but he's not a small person.
Nah, not at all.
I mean, he's a rotunda.
that part. They don't grow small.
That's like a white Samoan. If you say that, that's what's gonna happen.
That is a fairly accurate description.
People joke about Husky Harris. You had not seen a big man move like him since Big Van Vader or Bam Bam Bigelow.
Wow. And
he just didn't look worth anything because they had him in black tights and some weird cowboy boots. That ain't his spec. When he came back, when he started wearing that mask in NXT and the Hawaiian shirt, and then they finally got the full spectrum, it's like, okay, I get what y'all trying to do. But they should have always had Bo there. So they need to book Bo. Either y'all need to re-sign him because there's no place that he can go and have the value that he should have had in WWE except for WWE.
And Joe Hennig was actually released last year before WrestleMania.
Was he?
Yep.
Well, where is he now? At State Farm?
my guess, he might be protesting up in Minneapolis, but hey, I don't know.
Hey, look, that's an ongoing joke here. Somebody gonna work at State Farm.
State Farm.
Haku sold cars. Don't kill me, Haku. I'm sorry.
All right, and then finally, Samoa Joe.
New Japan.
Yeah.
Ideally,
the money. New Japan. You know how much I would pay to see Samoa Joe in the G1?
Do you know how much money the US would gate on a pay-per-view with Samoa Joe on it? This would be the highest gate, like especially for we'll say a Wrestle Kingdom show. It'd be the highest gate since Wrestle Kingdom 13.
Long as he's fighting Tomohiro Ishii.
Talk about it, fam.
You'll get that at some point during the G1. I'm certain of it.
This will not be a pay-per-view match. I can guarantee that. They're going to give that one away for the wrong reasons.
Right, just because it's there. He's in the building.
I look at it two ways. Like if Joe is want to full time compete, you put him in the G1, like we were talking about pre-roll, and have him win the tournament, and he smashes on whoever's champion in January. Or you can take the other approach of like, we're going to promote the biggest one-off we can with Samoa Joe. So if you were going to put a bunch of money on the table for Samoa Joe to wrestle a one-off at Wrestle Kingdom, who do you put him in the ring with besides the Stone Pitbull?
Man,
like a main event level one-off, and New Japan obviously has the money to get whoever they want.
I mean, hey, you know who I do? You know who I put him in there? Me and Petty on the same page. I know that laugh. Hold on. There's only one person for this one.
Price just went up.
Oh yeah.
Who's the biggest free agent in the pro wrestling world right now?
Right now.
Lesnar.
He out there ripping apart logs with his bare hands.
You put Joe and Lesnar in Japan? Listen here, fam. This is Dr. Death and Terry Gordy 2021.
I tell you what, that's a very excellent excellent choice.
Great job, Petty. No doubt.
I'll give you the stateside equivalent and who my actual choice was, because I wasn't thinking Lesnar.
Okay.
Phil Brooks.
Where do you do that one at?
Charles Montgomery Punk?
Yes. Yes. Charles Montgomery.
Price just went up.
Yes. Just went up. You know who's gonna do that? Kanos.
Hey,
Kanos gonna drop that bag.
Hey, the only other company I can see bold enough to pull that one off on pay-per-view is Triller.
No, on the cool, if Sinclair got a bug up their ass and decided they wanted to have a Ring of Honor reunion show, and that was the headline, I'd pay $50 for that.
Listen,
everybody would pay that. That's selling out the gate.
Sadly, they wouldn't even charge $50 for it.
But they should.
I totally agree.
That'd be the first shot of many, because you'd have to.
If you could get a Ring of Honor reunion show with like all Ring of Honor competitors that aren't currently signed to WWE.
Speaking of, Daniel Bryan's contract's coming up.
We were about to
segue.
Nice. We was gonna have to talk about that.
Oop gods.
There you go. So, and he talked about how he felt about that. I just read on this yesterday, and I think he's done with the WWE.
What more can you do?
You've done everything. You've main evented Mania. Now you're just showing up at Mania because you wrestle well. You got to take a break and come back to what you know. I feel like we're gonna see Bryan Danielson, to tell you the truth, because I don't see him going to AEW. I see him going back to ROH.
There's no reason. There's no reason for Bryan Danielson to show up at AEW, because that would be the equivalent of when Bret Hart went to WCW. Other than the fact of why he went to WCW, it would have the same effect. You would get him there and do nothing with him.
Right. There's
or do the wrong thing
with ROH right now. I feel like if he goes to ROH, who was the first person Bryan Danielson fights? The American Dragon versus who at ROH?
Jay Lethal.
Exactly. So we got Bryan Danielson versus Jay Lethal on the same card as CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. That's $50 buy.
Somebody at Sinclair owe us a check, because we didn't just book like the greatest Ring of Honor pay-per-view of all times, and we ain't got but two matches.
If y'all wanna print y'all own money, go on and pay all of those people money.
The boy got his own money.
Look at
for a nominal fee.
Soon to be
a phenomenal fee. We will slice off some of this broken pencil knowledge.
Yes, Lord.
And put it on your plate.
Amen.
Man, oh boy. Now,
man,
now
we need to get Chris Hero in shape and figure out who he's gonna wrestle.
You know I'm still booking, right?
Right, exactly.
Through them two matches, I'm like, well, Chris Hero ain't doing nothing. Let him fight.
Who you got? Because I wish it was Cesaro, but he's starting to get a mini push, so he's gonna be there.
Cesaro gonna have a belt in the WWE within the year, so I'm not. I'm not.
He ain't leaving that bag though, because they refuse to fire him.
I wouldn't fire Cesaro either. Cesaro would be my champion.
But
that's where we have a disconnect. I'll say Chris Hero versus to be determined. Because then I'm trying to get to see who the Briscoes gonna wrestle.
I wonder if they're gonna pick up somebody that's loose.
Okay, if you want to use Chris Hero to put somebody over, you put do Chris Hero and Jermaine Gresham.
You mean Jonathan Gresham?
Jonathan Gresham. I don't know why I said Jermaine.
Yeah, I heard the last name, so it's fine. That's a good. Okay, so we got three randomly. We now have a ROH pay-per-view going on. We got three.
We need the Briscoes booked.
But who is out there for them to fight?
That's a great question. Now is where you got to start bringing people from outside.
Man, and also
the door is open to AEW.
But do you put?
I know we don't like them this week.
You said what?
But what I'm saying is, do you feed them a team? Because I would love to see the Briscoes versus the Good Brothers. I would love to see that match.
Well, see, that's where the whole Forbidden Door thing starts.
That's where the what starts?
I got a better match.
That's where the Forbidden Door stuff starts. But what's your better match, Petty?
Well, it's on the Forbidden Door. We don't like them this week because they get on everybody's nerves on Twitter. Bring back the Bucks.
Nah,
but you trying to see somebody get murdered.
But we've seen that though. They when they were signed with New Japan, they had the Elite and Bullet Club and ROH. We saw that match.
Well, I mean, all of these are matches
for the night.
We've seen.
Have we seen CM Punk and Samoa Joe?
Not as a team, no.
I mean, no. As a one-on-one, we've seen it as a one-on-one.
ROH 2003.
Okay. All right, so if the goal is to have new matches where we haven't seen them or haven't seen them in a long time, because we haven't seen Bryan Danielson and Jay Lethal
at all, ever,
at all. Right, that's brand new. We CM Punk now and Samoa Joe now we haven't seen, which is definitely a different game. Chris Hero and Gresham is something good. We get somebody who's going over this homegrown. Right. Of course, the Briscoes have to fight, but this is where you go. Do you bring in some Samoans and let the Briscoes fight them?
But who?
I don't know what Samoa. Gorillas of Destiny.
There you go.
But haven't we seen that too? We've seen that too.
I mean, you can't get caught up on the fact that whether it's you've seen it or you've never seen it, is it going to be good? Because some of these matches, if you're putting together a ROH reunion pay-per-view, some of these you've seen before. But or is the matchup good? If you bring in the Load Warriors, somebody's getting hurt. And for those of you who don't know, we have come up with a completely new list of names for the Young Bucks.
Every name is interchangeable. When you hear a name you don't recognize, it's all for the Young Bucks.
You feel somebody is going to get flung from the center of the ring to the outside of the ring.
Fam, the Load Warriors ain't going to make it.
No, not against the Briscoes. Everybody working stiff.
Bruh, you feel what I'm saying?
Bo and Blake gingerly.
There's no slap to the thigh on the kick. People really get kicked in the face.
Pause. Your stiff and my stiff ain't the same.
Hey, you feel me? No Bruno.
Straight up.
No.
It ain't the same, Shada.
Hey, so real quick, we gotta get a couple more quick hits real quick because we can book ROH reunion shows all day long.
We really can.
Facts.
So finally, Retribution loses their mask and Mia Yim goes to SmackDown.
Don't forget Shane Thorne. Slapjack is over there too. Shout out Steve.
Easy. I didn't know that. So wow. So are they going to get their names back since they've been unmasked? Because I've never seen a powerhouse quote unquote tag team look weaker while trying to be stronger.
I don't know. At this point, you've taken the mask off. You've shown who they really are, as if you didn't know. What I think they have them earmarked for is some stuff that I hate, and I want us to make a mixtape for to fix. Is like Hurt Business 2.0.
That'll be next. Let's say that for next week. That hurt. So I'll agendize that for next week.
I bet. So, I mean, at this point, like you've taken the mask off of them. There's, they look like what they look like. You just got to figure out what their ring attire is going to look like now that the masks are off, and you're going to start calling them by their real names.
Yeah,
like we can only hope
book them strong. You need to book them strong. That's the first thing.
If you want to
also don't turn them into Chronic,
because that's where they are right now.
Yes, and that's all I felt when I saw them standing next to each other. I was like, "Oh, it's Chronic." the skyscrapers, two really tall people,
disciples of Apocalypse,
man.
Yeah.
Any of those, Ron and Don Harris, like you know what I'm saying. Just any of those. So that's why I see them doing the Hurt Business 2.0 because you get a chance to put them in suits and try to make them look like regular human beings.
But they'll turn into Ackerman and Razor.
Speaking of, when do they pop back up?
They don't.
When somebody puts some money on the table. Maybe MLW does, and they put them in.
Let the Briscoes fight them at the ROH pay-per-view.
Now you got a fist fight.
There you go.
Now you got some shit going on. Okay,
There
now let's remove the Load Warriors and put Akam and Razor. Yeah.
Everybody finna die.
Yeah.
But no, I mean they
now debuting as the Sudan clan.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Hands for hire, HFH.
Sudan clan, huh?
Shame on her. Yeah. You feel me?
Oh man. All right, so
I think they definitely need to come back. So with Dijakovac and what is Dio Madden, they need somebody to carry the load, if
Dio
you will,
needs a haircut.
Man, those dreads are way too long, fam. Way too long.
Well, I won't say he needs a haircut because then people will take that completely the wrong way.
Style.
He needs style. He needs an update to his grooming package.
Because what's going to end up happening is that's going to become a prop.
Yeah, somebody's always going to grab him by the hair and do something stupid.
And real dreads will do one thing when you pull them hard enough: fall the fuck out.
And the last thing we need is you losing dreads on national television.
International. You're never gonna live that down.
Homeboy need a retwist. Look, I got somebody that can handle you. I got some people. You know what I'm saying? I'll plug you in.
I know a guy.
Retwist. He need to be braided. I know a lady. I don't know any guys that do all that.
So what he needs is somebody to give him a utilitarian tie down to his hair. Because like right now it's flailing everywhere. You're not testing in 2001. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
it's just like the whole thing with NFL players growing dreads, and like once it comes down past the name on the back of the jersey, it's like, well, I mean, if a motherfucker use it to tackle you,
it's part of the uniform.
Look, nobody told you to play for a team where there are no black barbers.
You can
tuck that in, like just tuck it in, bro. Like your chain when Debo come around, just tuck it in.
Yo, A&E has picked up some new content from WWE. They have a series called Biography. They also have another series where they actually take you through the WWE merch warehouse and attempt to pick up relics from WWE superstars in an attempt to collect them for what's probably going to end up being the Physical Hall of Fame. Have y'all seen?
Don't want it.
Huh?
Don't want it.
This show is actually both shows are actually pretty good. The Biography is. The first one they did was on Steve Austin. The next one they're going to do is on Roddy Piper. The Steve Austin one was 2 hours long. It was nothing more than what you already knew. But the stories were actually pretty good. Like the backstory was really, really good. They went back to childhood on it.
So basically the old formula of the WWE DVD series documentaries.
Exactly. The old Coliseum style documentaries in cable format.
I used to like those too. Like Brian Pillman's was really good. Piper's was good. Like that whole documentary era where they were straight to DVD, and those were pretty fire.
You know what this would have been great for?
The WWE Network.
There you go.
The cock. Shouts out to Jesus and Mero for referring to Peacock as the cock, as we do here on the BPPC.
Yeah, wow. Because we is out there getting the shaft with Peacock, I promise.
Yo.
Goodness.
And then finally, the only other thing we had up today was talking about the return of a new look, and I'm throwing that in the highest of air quotes, Charlotte Flair.
No. You call it what it's supposed to be called. It's the Flair Witch Project.
Flair Witch Project.
Wow.
And that has nothing to do with how she looks. It has everything to do with why she came back for 2 weeks.
She came back to get fined $100,000 and an indefinite suspension after a loss in a match that she obviously wasn't into. What are we doing on TV? And this is a main event. This is a main event spot we did this on.
So let me set the table for this. We have a young lady who has the namesake of all namesakes in professional wrestling.
There you go.
Extremely accomplished, very, very gifted in the ring, creatively starved though. Is that fair to say?
Sure.
No, that's fair to say.
She's in the midst,
same position.
Yeah, she's in the midst of a creative drought. So she catches COVID, comes back, comes back healthy. Congratulations for that. False pregnancy. Gets that cleared up, gets taken off WrestleMania's poster, gets taken out of a semi-main event spot. Her fiance's fired, and she's about to go film a movie. She's doing the remake to Walking Tall. This is a WWE Films collaborative project, so everyone knows this is coming. She's going to play the lead in Walking Tall in a remake. So she's going to be
a remake of a remake that was also co-sponsored by WWE Films. What I hate the idea.
I mean, they bought the option to make it into a film as many times as they want to.
That part. So The Rock will do it. Charlotte Flair will do it now. And then 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, it'll be
some mini Brock is gonna do it.
Jeez, bro, not mini Brock.
Mini Brock.
It'll be a Mexican adaptation. It'll be a Hispanic adaptation. Yeah, I do, but it'll be a Hispanic adaptation with Dominic playing the lead role.
Right, something stupid.
Walking tall in Espanol.
Right. I wish I knew Spanish because I would definitely put the name on it.
Hey, Google it. Just Google Walking Tall and have it translated to Spanish.
Hold on a second. I gotta have it.
My God.
I got to have it.
Yeah, do it. Why aren't you doing it faster? Pause.
I just gave it to you. Caminando
Auto.
Exclusively on Telemundo.
Right.
Sponsored by Budweiser, king of beers.
You laying around, kind of half sleep, kind of half out of it. Maybe you're on a woke Sprite and you flip through the TV and you see Dominic and go, is Dominic? And for 30 minutes you look at this movie like an idiot.
God. Oh,
I will never not see Dominic and not think I am your father, Dominic.
I am your father, Dominic.
Your father, Dominic. Hey, rest in peace, Eddie, man. Every time,
straight up.
But picking the rest of the story up. So we've gone through all of that. We know what we know about Charlotte.
Yes.
And filming is going to start. So your idea is to bring Charlotte back, have her reset with the same promo she resets with every time she comes back from a hiatus or she switches from de facto face to real heel about entitlement.
To actual position?
Yes. Entitlement of the title. Like, we can't come up with any creative for Charlotte that doesn't revolve around her being champion or her wanting to be in the main event.
There you go.
Now we know, that's another story we'll touch on. Most of her competitors are either with child or with child in their arms.
Which brings us to why Petty Messiah's on this call to begin with.
We're not here yet though, but yes, please bring that call up and put it on hold. That's number one. Put that button right there. That's your bell. You listen for that. So you do all of this to bring her back to do the same crap she's been doing that really doesn't motivate or touch anybody. I don't even think it motivates her. It's like, we're gonna come back on TV, we're gonna talk about how I'm the greatest, no one should be in the ring with me. I should be in every championship match either as the champion or as the eventual challenger. My father is the old decrepit weight on my shoulders, but I'll never drop the name Flair.
Right.
And then I'm gonna have Rhea Ripley cost me a match against Asuka, and then I'm gonna throw a temper tantrum and kick the shit out of a referee to get sent home for the next 3 months. All when I'm really just gonna go shoot a movie and I'll be done around SummerSlam. So we already made the mistake of pulling you off WrestleMania. We couldn't just omit this other 2 weeks and bring you back when it's time for SummerSlam in a main event role.
Yeah, quietly. Couldn't do
quietly. That. Like, you let the anticipation build, start shooting vignettes, Charlotte's coming back, and don't even have her cut a promo. Just keep showing the vignettes, and she's in the main event, the women's main event of SummerSlam. She doesn't need to cut a promo. If that's all you're going to do, she's an attraction. She's showing up for a main event role, and that's the only time you see her. Yep. So then every other week, that there is women's wrestling. Everyone's wrestling and jockeying for position to challenge Charlotte at a major pay-per-view because, air quotes, Charlotte's too good to appear on weekly television.
Like I've been saying that some talent need to take their dial back and only show up when needed, like in case of emergency, break real glass. You know,
she's definitely one of them.
But I'm tired of telling people why they're handling Charlotte the wrong way. Just if you like it, I mean, I don't love it, but sure. Whatever.
They gave this woman a bag to show up for 1 week and then do a real ass 3 months of not having to work hard at all.
2 weeks. She did the same thing 2 weeks in a row. Right. And then just like completely disrespected Asuka. I was like, wait a minute, she's in Karen mode.
Kicked Asuka in the face, kicked Rhea Ripley in the face.
She plays Karen very well. I will say
very
that.
Well. Very well. And that might not even be who she really is in real life, but you know what? She does it well. She does it well. Here's the thing, and I don't know why we all sit around like she's not gonna be pregnant by the end of the year.
Here's the thing.
Speaking of which, pregnancy.
Oh, Petty.
So, yeah, you got to give us that line so we can get the story and get on out of here.
Well, no, I mean it doesn't make sense until we have the actual story.
So the context was we were talking about episodes ago, trying to book for Mania, post Mania. Who do we get for surprises? The return of Becky Lynch, the return of Charlotte Flair, the return of Ronda Rousey, and do we put them up against Asuka or put them up against Rhea Ripley? Now it'd have to be Rhea Ripley because of the belt, but there's Asuka's got some unfinished business with Becky Lynch and that type of stuff.
Everybody
and the whole
Asuka got business with everybody.
The whole conversation was surrounding the potential pregnancy of Charlotte Flair, the returning of Becky Lynch, who is now with child, but has delivered and is ready to come back to the ring. But we didn't know what the situation was with Ronda Rousey until we found out for sure that Ronda Rousey has announced that her and her husband Travis are officially 4 months pregnant. So congratulations to them, no doubt.
Yeah. Facts. Congratulations. And this even goes back further for us.
Yeah, we've been talking about this with Ronda for really since Mania, at the end of Mania 2 years ago.
Ronda told us she was gonna get pregnant.
Petty, give it to us one more time.
Oh, what? I already said it. It's subtle. It needs to be said very subtle.
No. It needs its own place.
It needs some stank on it.
It doesn't. And here's why. I told you all weeks ago this was going to happen. Weeks ago.
Yep.
And when I said it was going to happen, no one believed me. I got a buzzer for saying,
No. I didn't hit you with a buzzer. I was with you. It was possible.
You were with me.
Yeah.
I was like, the destruction. These children are going to take out champions, and they have done it systematically.
That is not what you said.
WWE, they're going to find a way to keep these women from having kids because the champion is going to be affected.
Now I have to go find the actual quote.
Because they're going to put it in the contract.
Yep. They're going to put it in the contract that you will not be able to have a kid, or if you do, you may be on the grounds of getting fired or getting docked somehow. And somehow it started happening. Becky got a baby. Ronda got a baby. Yeah. Bailey probably gonna have a baby.
Nah, Bailey's single.
That don't mean nothing.
Well, I guess we got a point here because she's independent.
I mean, it's not like they're doing what is that? It's not a puritanical WWE.
Yeah, they're not abstinent.
Dog said puritanical.
This is not the Handmaid's Tale WWE. She can do whatever she wants to. But what happens is a baby changes the championship plateau. It changes the way the landscape looks. To land the plane, there's a quote that you said. Do you mind if I read this quote? I've already stated it.
No, we needed
to keep going back into it. And here's why.
We need it again for the roadcaster.
We don't need it because I'm not going to say it again.
That's terrible.
If you guys are listening, there's a statement that was made maybe 5 minutes ago. It's perfect. It's right in the midst of everything. You go get it. It's on here. There's no reason to isolate that statement.
there's all the reason to isolate that statement.
No, not for
gold.
The
it is
forever.
podcast gold. That's okay.
Yeah, there was not enough clarity.
Cancellation worthy statement that should not be made from a journalistic standpoint.
Right,
but it's
not cancelable. It's not. It's too vague.
Totally cancelable.
It's not.
If you see it that way, it is. But vague. 2 of the 3 people on this podcast are telling you it's not.
Yeah, it's. Too
I don't
vague
think
of a
you
statement.
all have enough validity to say it's not, because it
says a person who calls himself the Messiah of Petty.
I am.
Copyright
one thing about
I'm the most politically correct
know,
person on this show.
You gotta know.
Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back, Barry Horowitz.
He really did pat himself on the back.
As I pat myself on the back right now, like Barry Horowitz.
Campaign.
You dig? Shit ain't just no clever ass hashtag. What do you mean?
I'm keeping myself away from the riffraff.
Oh man, show at brokenpistolbc.com, brokenpistolbc@gmail.com, brokenpistolbc on all things social. So that means that's at brokenpistolbc on what?
Everything.
Everything.
It's a funny thing, this podcast game.
Take us to the house, man.
Pencil pushes. Heads up. Pencils down.
Oh, we the worst. We the worst.
Jesus Christ.